Hello, On the Rockers. Put the kids to bed. It's On the Rocks After Dark for a podcast mashup with Anthony Saldana and Shayan Siren, the host of Keep It Coming podcast. Sometimes naughty, sometimes bawdy, but always on point. With me, your sassy host with the sassy most. Presented by Straw Hut Media. Raise a glass as the drinks begin. It's On the Rocks.
And most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Lord have mercy, buns and bows and pantyhose. On the Rocks podcast, a place where we're too glad to give a damn. I love gray sweatpants season. Number one, eggplant showing off. Yes, thank you. Number two, wearing sweatpants and not having to unzip or undo your button through the second course at Thanksgiving. Yes, please. Bring on the gray sweatpants. Okay, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at On the Rocks on air and on Facebook, On the Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email. Book me for a pride, wedding, funeral, quinceañera, Brits. I don't care. I'll show up. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. Send us your comments, your guest questions, and your guest requests. We got your hot topics today. We have hot topics today, so get ready. The show's presented by Straw Hut Media. You can watch and or listen to our now over 392 episodes for free at ontherocksradioshow.com. You can watch us on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, on the Outlet.tv app, Facebook Watch, on GED Magazine, and I Love Gay LGBT, streaming with pride on SVTV and on Channel 31 on the East Coast. Hello, East Coast. We proudly tape at UBN Go Studios, your one-stop place for podcasting. Let's get the show on the road. Keep It Coming podcast for comedy and sexy time fans. Keep It Coming is all about two best friends who live the Los Angeles dream. Join Tony and Cheyenne on their wild adventures where you experience a roller coaster of emotions and hot topics. Nothing is off limits. Host Anthony Saldana is a California native. He has been part of nightlife since he was 21 as a bartender. And we're going to talk about a good year he had, $300K for bartending. We're going to find out how that happens. He's also an avid real estate investor and loves cars and money and is a size queen. Welcome, Anthony Saldana. Hello, Anthony. There we go. Shayan Siren hailed from Texas, yeehaw, where everything is bigger. She moved to Los Angeles at 18 and transitioned at 19 to the glamour queen and the trans community spokeswoman that we see today. She is not shy about her past. That includes, well, a lot. And we're gonna get all to that. Please welcome Shayan. Hi. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Okay, so before we deep dive into it, for those not familiar with the growing success of your podcast, Keep It Coming is what? What can audiences expect from the two of you?
Wait, question. Why can't we see ourselves on the screen?
Oh my God, he's such a like let me look at me queen.
I mean,
what an ego queen.
Okay, it's fine.
What a diva.
All right, what was the question?
Oh my God, and you go to his house and it's nothing but mirrors.
I just want to stand up and show everyone my gray sweatpants since you brought it up. See, you bitched at me for not wearing.
Some of us can fill our gray sweatpants. Okay.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Jamie,
damn.
can we see ourselves? Okay, yeah. Well, there we go.
Wow,
all right.
wow, look how hot I am.
Perfect.
Oh my God, look gorgeous. And I have to tell you, like, you are giving us sexy, but you're giving us, like, ASMR sexy, because when you move, it goes...
Oh, yeah, with all the latex.
Yes.
All the latex lovers, fetish watchers out there.
The only time latex is in the bedroom. That's, you know... Okay, now you can see yourself. Now we saw your gray sweatpants. We saw your cute little booty, which is very popular.
Yeah.
It's a very popular booty.
Awesome. Okay, so what was the question?
What is Keep It Coming podcast about? What can we expect from you both?
It's like a fever dream.
Yeah. Shayan just came to me one day, actually almost exactly a year ago, saying that she wanted to start a podcast. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? We have such crazy lives. And you know, it's basically all through COVID, we just did the craziest, dumbest shit. You know what I mean? Every day we were just like, oh, let's bring a different boy over. Let's have a different story. Let's do something, you know what I mean? Because we're all locked in the house. So we were like, damn it, if we could just put a camera in the house for that entire time, we would have had the best TV show ever. So now it's like, you know what? The only way to do that is go back and talk about it. So.
Yeah.
And it really is comedy because you talk, it's comedy, but you also talk about very real topics.
Yeah.
You've addressed a wide variety of topics that affect our daily lives.
Yeah.
How did the two of you meet?
Well, he tried to steal my boyfriend.
No, she's flipping it
He
around.
does that. He does that. We have shared.
No,
a gentleman or
we
two.
met at Mickey's in West Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy, and the guy kept talking about, oh, my best friend Anthony, my best friend Anthony. I'm like, who the hell is this best friend Anthony? And why are you not talking about me? Because, I always have to be the center of attention. And then I finally met him. And I was like, wait, I like you better than this guy. So let's
Where
just be
is that guy
friends.
now?
That was actually my boyfriend at the time.
I've never known you to have a boyfriend.
Yeah,
Because
well,
you lead this life away from WeHo nightlife.
I use that term loosely. I have bromances. It's
Yeah.
like I'll have someone who comes and lives with me for like a year or two,
What?
and we'll like live like the whole bromance, and then when it's done, it's like, oh, let's close the chapter and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Is like a year your limit?
Ooh.
Till he finds something new and shiny to obsess
Because you get
over.
bored easily.
I kind of do, and I don't know if it's because it's LA and the grass is greener on the other side type of
Yeah.
situation, or if it's because I just have ADD, and even with jobs and the reason I stayed at Mickey's for so long is because I had so much autonomy and the money was good, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know me, I showed up when I wanted to, I did what I want, I drank, I got wasted with my friends. Like it was less of a job and more of something fun to do, and I was only there twice a week. But yeah, and I mean now I manage her OF. Can you say
everything.
the full word?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
OnlyFans.
Oh,
Wait,
because on
wait,
YouTube, I don't know.
yes.
On ours we avoid saying that, so it's just because you never want to know about monetization
Yeah.
or whatnot. So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so.
He has ADD, but he managed to focus on me for the past 8 years.
He saw something
And so
good. And he was
now
like,
we're
okay.
here.
So
Yeah.
now, are you guys really besties, or that's the brand? Like,
No,
how much
we
time are you
besties
spending
all the
together
time.
during
All
the week?
time.
Too
Yeah.
much.
And you guys film like fun little like skit videos too.
Yeah.
Who's the creative person behind that?
It really depends.
It's more of a collaborative.
We have a notepad that is literally probably thousands of notes long that we've been putting in there from over the months or even years, where it's just like I'll wake up in the middle of the night or have a dream and I'm like, oh, this would be great, let's do this. You know what I mean? And it works really well.
Yeah.
Also the trending shit. You go on
Yeah, of
TikTok, you
course.
see what's trending. So we go to
Yeah.
Target and we'll start throwing shit. And
I saw that.
Yeah.
it does well. It's so crazy. The hard part is TikTok is such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we get banned.
All
on
social
everything.
media is,
Everything.
and we have no idea what's coming. We don't know what regulations are coming. We don't know what's coming down the pipeline. Remember, TikTok was supposed to be banned in January.
Right.
Whatever
right.
happened to that?
I had no
Yeah.
idea.
That news kind of just disappeared.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we know people are like, oh, I should start a podcast, and we know friends that have started a podcast, and like 2 months later, they're like, oh, I didn't do that, because we know how much work it is.
It's
So much work.
And your podcast is more of like a filmed podcast. It's very, you're sitting on a couch. It's very TV show.
Yeah.
Like, it's very fun. And it's like, we're hanging out with you
Yeah.
at your house.
Yeah.
And you've totally remodeled your house, a part of your house, to create this beautiful studio.
Yeah.
But we know how much work it is. And it's not, once you make it like, okay, you're my official, we're co-hosting this. Because I've been through fixed co-host. And when you start working together and you start having to put stuff together, it takes the fun quotient out of being friends. We're like,
For sure.
okay, we have to film this, and then we have to edit this, and we have
Yeah.
to tag this, and all that. How has podcasting together changed the dynamic of your friendship?
So I'll
Be
answer this
honest,
one. I'll
yeah.
answer this one. The best thing about it, and Shayan, the reason we work so well is I'm very, very, very business. Shayan is tell me where to go, what to do, and I'll show up.
I want to
And,
be
like,
a real life Barbie.
100%. And you know what? It works 1,000% in every aspect, even in OnlyFans. Because like I'm a director producer at heart. Like I'm very logic. Everything I do is logical. Money. Like I have to find. I'm a planner. You know what I mean? So with her, I'm like, you show up at my house every single Tuesday and Friday to film from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Period. No, it doesn't matter. Rain, shows, snow, shine, whatever.
Yeah.
Boyfriends.
No vacations, whatever. Like we plan our vacations around it.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday, every single Friday. So we have Tuesday, which is our podcast. Friday we upload the podcast and OnlyFans content. So it's just like, and then it goes into like Chatterbait or whatever we're doing for
All
that
that
night.
other stuff.
But as long as she shows up, I'm gonna run the show.
But are you spending time outside of the Tuesday and Friday just as friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, she doesn't like to even leave her house.
I don't. Yeah, no. So I'm a homebody, like through and through. I don't like. Yeah.
So
It's
instead,
just
we
so
said
weird, because from the show we get such like party vibes
Yeah.
like that, and the fact that you are so organized, and I never knew that aspect of you because I would see you in West Hollywood and you'd be like, "Meh, meh, meh."
Yeah, it works perfect
But
because
like
he's
you're
so.
like big party girl central, and you just want to stay home.
Well, I was, and then a lot of trauma, and just every time I left my house, I would almost go to jail or just make really bad decisions, which is good for a podcast.
Oh my God, it's
entertaining.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I have so many stories in my repertoire. So once I run out of those stories, then I'll start going out and almost going to jail again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Let me know when.
It's
So
just
I'll
it's
stop by.
I.
Well, the problem
am,
is
yeah,
she's
I'm a liability.
very demure and mindful. And then 2 or 3 shots later,
That's
she's
it?
like, I want 5 guys to pee on me in the
Yeah,
shower.
yeah, I'm
and
pretty
like,
wild.
I'm down for it. Spit in my wine.
Yeah.
You're hot. Let's take him home. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like,
Just like a normal Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
we'll
just-
literally, we've had the craziest stories just from walking down the street.
Yeah.
We were at tacos one Tuesday night, and before you know it, 3 guys just walk up to us and
Yeah.
like exchange number, and they're at my house and didn't leave
Yeah.
for like 2 straight days.
And we had a bottle of Hennessy and a bunch of Percocets, and they were just doing them off my tits.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's very
That's
wild.
LA though, I feel.
But that's
But
the
it'll be
thing,
like-
I cannot leave the house.
Yeah, it'll literally be like,
That's
oh, we're
why.
gonna chill night. Like one time we literally were like, it's a Monday night. I was like, we're gonna do a movie night, and then we invited a boy over, a straight boy,
Yeah.
and he got into my little. I have a little junk drawer filled with goodies and whatnot, and he's like, oh, I just picked something up and put it in my Corona. Well, he didn't tell me till later. He's sitting here and his palms are sweaty.
Yeah.
He's trying to jerk me off. He's trying to play with her wiener, and like we're
I
like,
have a wiener.
what is going on with this guy? And he's like, oh yeah, I kind of went through your drawer and like found something and I just put it in my thing. And
Yeah.
I come
Wait,
to find
wait,
out.
okay. There's
Chaos
a lot in
always
this
finds
story
us.
that we have to unwrap.
But it was like a Monday night, and we're like, "What are
Yeah.
you doing, motherfucker?" Like,
Yeah.
So, but the dynamic with your friendship, it sounds like there's not many boundaries. There's a lot
None.
of
No.
fluidity
He's
here.
seen my hole from every angle.
Does it ever get
possible.
weird? Because like, I mean, I'm close with my friends, and sometimes things happen, but like, that's pretty close.
you know, before meeting her, I actually was afraid of trans and drag queens. I saw drag queens as clowns, and I don't really like clowns, and I saw trans people as I don't know what the fuck, like they couldn't figure it out, mental illness type of thing. That was me. I just was like, I didn't understand it. You know, this is also I met her in 2017, early 2017. So prior to that, you know, I just didn't care. Working at Mickey's, it's all a performance, so it's like, oh, it's a performing art. Cool,
Yeah.
good for you. I've done drag before, you know, a couple times.
Have you seen the pictures?
It's horrible. But
It's pretty bad. And you think you have a pretty boy, and he'd make a pretty drag queen?
no.
No.
And I just don't know how to walk in heels. I look like a football player. But yeah, and then I met Shayan, and it was literally life altering because it was very much like she was real. Like you see them all being fake, and I see it as like, oh, they're living these double lives. But when she came up to me, she was like, hey, just a heads up. This guy came up to me and brought me Subway at my work, and I think he's dating you. And I just want to let you know because I don't fuck around with that.
Yeah.
Who was this?
Can't say the
can't say his
names.
name.
You'll tell me afterwards.
Yeah,
though.
Yeah, we'll
he used
do
to be
it.
a dancer at Mickey's.
Sexy. Very sexy.
6'5", my type. Yeah. Fucking the size of your forearm.
Size queen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And then when her coming up to me and being real, that actually was like, oh, that's cool because like no one in LA would do that. Anyone in LA would do the opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd steal your man, and then you'd find out like 5 years later.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she walked up to me and she's like, FYI, you
Yeah.
motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, the funny thing is, him and I actually had an open relationship, so it was fine. Yeah, I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. Like, good luck with that. You know what I mean? Hope you could take it.
Yeah.
She's like, and done.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Cheyenne, I want to know, coming from Plano, Texas.
Yeah.
You know, we know Texas is extremely conservative.
Yeah.
Have you always been this outspoken? Have you always been so sure of yourself and your sexuality? Where did that kind of come into play growing up in Plano?
Honestly, no. I was like a weird artsy student that looked like a school shooter,
Like
basically.
emo kid? Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
emo,
Yeah.
looked like a school shooter. Then I was
Like,
like,
don't say that again.
yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry. And then
Poor Jamie's like, edit.
well, and then they were like, oh, you have low testosterone. Like, let's put you on testosterone. So then they put me on testosterone, and then I got really fucking hot and had like abs and facial hair and everything. And then they put me in sports, and I was in football. And so I was doing that, and I was basically living this like life, basically. And then it wasn't until I moved out here when I was 18 years old, I was like, I need to find myself. Like, that's all I wanted to do, was I needed to find myself. I didn't know what trans was. Like in
Yeah, so
Texas,
when
we
did- yeah.
didn't know what trans was. I remember like my first memory being like, I want to be a girl at 3, and they're like, you're fucking crazy.
Wow.
There's no such thing. We didn't have social media like that. We didn't have YouTube, this, and that,
course.
whatever. So it wasn't until I moved out here and I went to the Abbey and I saw 3 girls that were some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, something's different about these girls. And they were like, my friend was like, oh, you know, they're trans. And I was like, oh, mind you, I had a fake ID at the Abbey. And I was like, oh, no way. And I was like, so you're telling me that I can look like that one day? And they were like, yeah, if you put in the work. And
money.
That was and a lot of money. And then, yeah.
And that's when it first started to click.
Yeah. And so the beginning stages of my transition was a lot of exploration, a lot of figuring out what I like, my sexuality and stuff. Because I've dated women in the past, I've dated men in the past, you know, all of it. And so, yeah, eventually it just got to a point of like, especially when I was meeting Anthony, I was definitely trying to find myself, and I was on this path and on this journey of finding myself, and he allowed such a like safe space for me to be myself. And that was really cool because he saw a lot of the struggles. Like, as much as he's seen the good, there have been so many nights where I've gone over to his house crying because these people were mean to me and they didn't let me into this club, and I will never be this way, I'll never find love. And so he found so much of that support. So as much as he has a tough exterior, I always say he's always provided that
I never knew
safe
this about
space.
him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say tough exterior. I just mean
Yeah.
a bitchy exterior.
He is, and he always provided that space for me. And so through that, I was able to flourish. And then, yeah, now here we are, which is crazy. Living a life as a dream, literally.
What were some of the hardest things to get used to in living in LA coming from Plano?
Oh, I mean, just everything in Texas is convenient. Everything has a drive-through. Everything you can walk up to anywhere, and there's parking directly in front. I mean, it's just the convenience of it. But I will say what I love about LA is the opportunities are endless. You can literally be whatever,
if you hustle.
whoever. Yeah.
And that's what I love about your guys and your podcast and the content you're putting out.
Yeah.
You're doing the work. So many people, like we said, start a podcast and they just fizzle out, or they don't apply themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't come to LA and depend on your looks. You
Yeah.
can't depend on your social media. You have to do the hustle.
Yeah, but I couldn't do it on my own though, because I don't have that hustle deep down inside. I just want to stay at home and be hot. But he has the hustle,
And that's why it's a good.
and he's able to be like, this day, we do X, Y, and Z, and that's how my brain works. I literally don't want to do anything business, anything in life. I just want to be hot and funny, and he sets it up for me to do that. So it's like he sets up the joke and I deliver it. So yeah.
Now, just a little, do you ever feel like, oh, God, I'm doing all the business part of it? Because that's a lot of work.
He loves it.
I love it. I will say though, we did get in an argument recently, just a little bit, when I was just like, "Girl, I feel like I'm bringing everyone to the table."
Yeah.
But I mean,
And that's
the
a
end of the-
conversation that has to be had.
Yeah.
But-
It's a give and take, just like with any relationship.
Yeah.
but now more than ever, I'm feeling that it's more equal because I do manage her OnlyFans, and that's a really good business partnership. Because at the end of the day, like, OnlyFans is based specifically on your physical appearance. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. You know what I mean? You don't even have to have a fucking personality. She could literally sit there.
Yep.
So for me, I'm putting in, yes, a lot of work to like message here. I mean, her OnlyFans gets 700 to 1,000 messages every morning.
Thank God you didn't resort to those management bots.
No.
Do you know how many? Well, you know how many people have had major issues.
For sure.
and
We actually
lost
tried it.
all
No, we
their
actually
income.
tried it for the
Yeah.
first like 4 days.
People have lost their core income
Yeah.
because their fans are like, no.
And I noticed that, like, I would be in the middle of like having a conversation with someone on like Snapchat, and then we hired a company.
Yeah.
There were real people that would
The way
come
that
in.
they sold it was amazing. You don't have to put in the effort.
Yeah.
They get your
Yeah.
personality,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That's not.
And
that's
I'd be
not
in the middle
case.
of like, hey, and they're like flirting, and then they come in and be like, "What's your favorite season?" And I'm like, "Motherfucker, this guy is like, bricked up, ready to go, and you're asking about your seasons." Like,
Yeah.
it would drive me insane. So I have to go unsend it, get back into the conversation. So I was like, fire them. You know what I mean? I'll just
Yeah.
dedicate 3 or 4 hours before I go to bed every night and just
Yeah.
knock out the messaging. But
Now, being so at home with your sexuality and celebrating your sexuality and some of the antics that I hear, we know part of the trans community is also being fetishized.
For sure.
In porn, in OnlyFans, in real life.
Yeah.
Do you feel empowered when you are able to express this sexuality and have straight guys come over and do things? Or does part of you feel fetishized at all?
In the beginning, the attention was a lot, and I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, what is this world? And you're just like in Candyland almost. Like, the opportunities are endless. But then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, now you're starting to see the negative effects of it. You're starting to see the dark side of things, And I have a lot of rules for it. I always say capitalize on any and everything possible. So
That's my girl.
that's what I did. And honestly, I'm not trying to promote sex work at all whatsoever, because there is a lot of evils to it, and people need to know that. And you have to have a very strong mind to go into that. And even then, it still fucked me up. But at the same time, there is this little bit of worth that I got just from being able to capitalize on these
And
people.
you call the shots at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it's I'm in charge for sure. Yeah.
I've heard that there's been a struggle when
control.
people have been fetishized, no matter what genre, but it's like, okay, the morning after where you want breakfast in bed or you want that cuddle time, whatever, and it's based on this sexual fantasy. And it's like, you don't live that sexual fantasy 24/7.
No.
Even if it's a big part of your life, there's that part where you like wake up and you're like, well, I'm a human being too, and I want this kind of companionship.
Yeah, no, for sure. When I'm out of this, I look like a skater girl. Like
That's hot.
hoodie, bangs, like literally no makeup, no nothing. Yeah, the fantasy ends when I go home.
And love and dating for you, I mean, this is a little fun fact for people who may or may not know. You've been married to a woman and you've been married to a man. Again, I've known him for maybe 17 years.
Wow.
I never knew any part of this. I never knew men lived with him for a year.
Oh yeah.
Because you kept that all pretty secret.
Yeah, you
Why?
have to. I feel like that's necessary. You know what I mean? It's
Why?
if you put your
We're in an age where it's like, look at me, look at me,
Yeah.
look at me.
no. Because I mean, there's a lot that I don't post about there. You'll never see. I'll never post like.
I've never seen
the
one
things that
like
I
companion in
own
there.
or like people. You know.
I've seen your goddamn cars.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna post all my houses that are on there either. You know what I mean? Like the car, just for fun, and I don't even say it's mine or it's, you know what I mean. I just post it and it leads the fantasy. It's like, what do you think? But yeah, I don't know what question you're asking me.
Okay, so you're married to a woman and a man. Whatever part of that whole situation you want to start talking about, like
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
who came first, the man or the woman? Well, not in the bedroom, but like
The
marriage-wise.
chicken or the egg?
Who did you marry first, a woman or?
Woman. Yes. And it was more or less a
What-
sugar mama
this?
situation. I've known her
Okay.
since I was 19, and
Oh my God,
we
that's
met
so young.
on a cougar cruise, which is like out of Newport Beach. You would get on a boat and
Those
they
OC
go
cougars.
around.
They come out of the woodwork and
hot.
they got money.
Yeah,
And they don't always need to be around the whole time, which
Nope.
yeah.
And and it was very great. I needed it. You know, it's like very much. It worked for me. It worked for her.
So you were like 19?
Yeah, and then everything
But
was
you got married.
everything was fine and dandy for a while. Yeah, we did that because at the time, yes, I'm sorry, we got married because she makes a lot of money and I did not. So it really brought her tax bracket down. So it was more financial, but I mean, it was fun. It was like
Did you live with her?
she for a little while, but she was also she's a lot older. So mind you, she's 53
She's still alive?
now. Yes.
And she's here today. Can you imagine?
Right,
Can
could
you
you
imagine?
imagine?
She would have walked in.
And it's Cheyenne's mom.
Yeehaw.
No, but yeah. And then even then, I cheated on her with a guy, and crazy. This is a wild story, but I cheated.
Did you
on her.
have to like perform all the
Yeah,
duties of a
course,
husband?
course. And,
And that wasn't a problem for you?
No, I cheated on her with a guy,
But
and
you're a size queen. Did she have to pay
the
you, like, all the time?
the guy gave me and this guy were messing around for a while, who was also married, and he
To a guy or to a girl?
to a girl, straight.
In Orange County.
Yeah,
This is the bullshit that happens. I was born and
right.
raised in Orange County. This is all the bullshit.
Oh, so you
Nobody
guys
can
are
host. They're
hot.
all married with kids. You see them at church and they pretend they don't know you. Okay.
Yeah, then he ended up giving me gonorrhea, and I gave it to my then wife, and I got the call of.
Happy anniversary.
It was so crazy because I'll never forget this, but I get the call from him, and I'd never had an STD before. None of us had, but apparently he was hooking up with this escort girl or some shit. And he calls me and he's like, "Bro, there's some green shit coming out of my dick. I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Oh fuck,
Green.
Like, yeah,
Shouldn't be green,
like
right?
gooey shit. I don't know. It was green. Yeah, chlamydia,
It
gonorrhea.
should
one
not
of
be
those.
green.
Yeah, no, it was green. And he immediately comes over and I hop in, and I'm driving, and he hopped inside the passenger seat and he pulls his dick out, and I'm like, oh shit, there's definitely like some like nastiness going
Ew.
on. And within minutes, I get a call from my wife, and she's like,
Like I
"Babe,"
said, put the kids to bed. This is on the rocks after dark.
yeah, she's like, "Babe, there's something going on, like something doesn't feel right." And I was like, "Shit!" And at the time, my doctor was my uncle, so I called my uncle, and he's like, "I need all
This is
of
some
you."
HBO
Right.
Max series.
Yeah, he's
happening
like,
right now.
"I need all of you guys in the doctor's office at the same time. Like, I need to treat all of you guys," type of thing. And I was like, "Shit!" So
That's weird.
it was me, him, her, and the girl. The guy that I was messing around with brought the girl that he hired as like an
Did you
escort.
guys go out to dinner afterwards?
Well, and the craziest part is my wife at the time was crazy. She's Egyptian, but she comes up to me and starts screaming at me and yelling at the girl, the escort girl, and was like, "You cheated on me with this fucking slut. Like going nuts." And I felt really bad for the girl. And like I looked at and I stood up and I was just like, "No, I cheated on you with him." And I looked at her and me being, you want to say words that cut. And I was like, "And you're the reason that I'm gay." And I literally said that to her.
Oh my God.
I know. And it was devastating. But
How long were you married for?
7 years, almost 7 years.
Two-
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And
You knew all this?
This was before.
no,
right,
this was
no,
right
this
before I met you. Yeah. because I married the guy after Bruce.
20. Yeah, I met him in
7 years.
2016, 2017.
And those were like your formative years, though, when like we're supposed to be coming into our own and exploring WeHo and all this
Yeah,
kind
I mean,
of
I was
stuff.
still bartending, and I mean, everyone knew it because she would come into the bar and spend a lot of money at the bar, and like everyone knows her and knew her around town. And it's like, oh, this is like this elusive person, because she would make it very well known, because when anyone come near me, she just, oh God.
Yeah.
There's another story. There's this girl, her name was Felicia. She was like 4'6", jokingly called me her husband, and my ex-wife took her back of her phone and just beat the girl in the face.
I think we've all called Anthony our husband at some point.
Yeah.
You can drug me like, hey, happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you consider yourself bisexual or fluid, or it doesn't even matter?
We actually just recently discovered this with one of our guests on our podcast. Is I'm hot sexual. So if you're hot, I'm kind of down.
I've seen some of the guys you're with, and it's not hot sexual.
It's subjective. So I've seen yours
fine
too.
sexual.
I've
It's
seen
like,
yours too, Alexander.
Now, do you ever feel protective over him?
No.
So, like, when he
He
acts
can-
a
he
fool,
can
you just let him
handle
do
it.
his
Yeah,
own thing? You're like,
yeah.
okay,
Do
whatever.
it for I always say do it for the plot. Always.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see what will happen. Oh, you want to do that? Sure, be messy. Go. Let's record it.
Yeah.
Have you
literally.
ever told the
Good
other
story.
person, don't do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
We still do it.
An example.
So there's no point.
Well,
Basically
Shayan,
everything I've ever done.
well, the thing is, Shayan used to bring boys over, and then I'm
But
like,
you like that.
no, I love that,
He loves
but
it.
the thing is, she didn't understand for a while. It's like, okay, you bring him over the third time, they become part of the group, and that's the thing is like, when that happens,
When they get comfy.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
When
happened
they
a
know
few
where
times.
like all your stuff is in the house. No,
Yeah.
that's too much.
So she'd bring him around the group, and I'd be like, once the Instagrams are exchanged and the hey, let's hang
Yeah.
out sometime. That's where she'd be like, oh fuck, like what have I done? Like there's
Yeah.
times where we've shared a guy where it's like, you know,
That's
the
not
guy
weird for you guys. As
in the
friends?
morning the guy would be
No.
cuddling me and not her, and Cheyenne would just be like, get the fuck out of here, you faggot.
Yeah.
Edit that too, Jamie. Oh my god.
Oh, sorry, we say such words on ours.
But I am. I'm so, like, my name is Shayan Siren for a reason. Like, I'm a siren. I lure the
Yeah.
boys. I'm
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
And then when I'm done with you, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to destroy you. Like, and I want you out of my life.
Do you ever catch the feels? Are you dating somebody? Are you open
Oh God,
to dating?
how long is this show?
I find this fascinating.
Well, the last person I was in love with almost put me in jail. So, yeah, he was an emo rock star boy,
that's my
drug
type.
dealer. Yeah, rock star, drug dealer. Back off.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll go for me. Hello.
Yeah,
like,
and
squeak, squeak, and I'm like,
it just, yeah, I literally almost went to jail, and that was actually a big reason why we started the podcast. I was like, I need to find something productive
Outlet.
because I am just finding chaos.
No, she's
in
like, I need
other
to find
ways,
something where he sees me looking hot all the time.
Well, that too.
But why are
kill
you
two birds with
so?
one stone.
Why are you so fascinated with the chaos?
I don't know, and I really wanted to
That's
to
what I
dissect
wanna know.
why
Yeah.
I love chaos so much. Like, I've always been that way. It's like I'm always want to be friends with the guys that are like throwing fireworks at
Yeah.
shit and like this
Yeah.
and blowing shit up.
That rebel type
Yes,
energy.
and I love that. I love that. Like, yeah, fuck the system. Let's like just act crazy and be wild. But I am 32 and I'm getting to a point in my life where I'm like, okay, well, I do want to have kids and I
You
do
do.
want to, yeah, I want a family. I want
Yeah.
everything, and I just can't still. But that's why I hope I need to have sons, because I want to live vicariously through them. Be like, go blow shit up, like, you know, go do
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
go
yeah.
do that, and just like, you know, I'll get you out of detention. You know, like just tell me all the stories. Like I gotta know, I gotta live through you. But yeah.
Now, do you find yourself falling in love though, and you stop yourself, or you just don't have those feelings yet?
Right now, I'm distracted because, you know, for so long in my whole 20s, I spent it wanting to thinking that a guy was going to save me, you know, that was going to take me out of
And you were still
escorting
discovering
and
yourself at
stuff.
that time, too.
Yeah, and so I thought, you know, a guy was going to save me from escorting and take me out of it, and everything was going to be set and everything was going to be fine and dandy until I was 32 years old, almost getting arrested because of a guy, and I realized, shit, I don't have a career. I don't have anything to wake up for tomorrow, you know? Like, I have a dog, I have a cat, like, they're amazing, they're my everything, but at the same time, I'm like, I need something that I can just call my own, so that if a guy were to wake up one day and say, hey, I don't love you anymore, at least I have my career, you know, or something. And so that's what I didn't have, because escorting, especially nowadays, it's not what it used to be, you know?
Well,
It's
we're going to talk
changed.
about escorting. We're going to have a whole talk about that. But what I love is that you're so available and you talk openly about this. This is
Yeah.
something that you talk about on your podcast. This is something you share in jokes, but it's something as you share in serious as well.
Yeah. Well, it helps with my own trauma.
Yeah.
And I find that finding the comedy and everything helps me move forward because, you know, I do battle with mental health. It is something that I've always battled with. And I've always learned to just find the funny in every situation, no matter how traumatizing it is.
100%.
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
Now, you with love and dating, since I don't know anything about this whole past, are you dating? Are you open to love and dating?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
I like to pay for sex. So.
Do you not feel those feelings?
I'm the opposite. What's up?
Do you not feel those feelings, or you're just so turned off
You
by
know,
the idea after being married twice?
Yeah, that, and I think, and this is something that we debate about with different people on our podcast, is that there gets to a point where you might just be too old to date. Where
You don't believe that.
I think it. Here's my reasoning.
I'm just so
No, but here's my reasoning, and it's not an age thing being too old, but I mean, you grow into a part of your life where like the smallest things are going to turn you off to someone, and you
100%.
become
A mouth breather, a loud chewer, somebody that leaves.
bad breath. It's something that like
that clips their nails in bed.
So that's what I mean. You become, you know, when you're in your early 20s up to 25, your brain is still, you know, forming. So you're able to like mold yourself into someone else's.
And you could fall asleep at somebody else's house for 3 days in a row and then come back to
Exactly.
your own life.
Now it's like, you know, I've lived alone now. I mean,
you
outside
have
of
your
whatever.
house, you have your dog.
Yeah,
you have
and
all
it's
that.
like, and I'll try to date someone. Then it's like the smallest thing will annoy me to the point where I'm like, okay, like you know, look what time it is. You know what I mean? Like, look at that, you got to go. So,
When's the last time that you tried dating?
ooh, I couldn't even tell you. Probably like 3 years ago.
2021, I think.
When's the last time you went like on an actual date?
Oh, I don't do that.
You don't go on dates at all?
No,
like
no,
movie,
I don't.
dinner?
No, I won't
It's a
do that.
hookup at your house.
Yeah, my thing is, so I love dinners. I'm a food freak. Anyone who knows me sees my social media.
Skinny ass bitch.
So I take dinners for like, that's a very special time.
I've seen
and
some pictures of your dinner, but I never see who you're having dinner with, which I always found very interesting.
Yeah. I don't do that.
And you know,
either.
rumors
So,
in West
like,
Hollywood are like,
Yeah. So my thing is like sometimes it's a lot of older people because a lot of my friends are older, but then it's also I have two different groups, you know, very distinct different groups, like the older group and the younger group. You know, working at Mickey's, there might be a client who comes into Mickey's all the time. You know what I mean? Or it might just be a friend, or it might be, you know, the thing is the dinners that we go to are $1,000 plus. So it's not like I'm just gonna, you know, if I'm gonna go on a date with someone. I'm sorry, but I'm way too high maintenance for someone to be taking me on a date.
So you would
So
only
it's
date
like-
somebody that is of a certain
No,
financial
the
status.
other way around.
Oh.
If I'm going on I can't date anyone who makes more money than me. It's like a mental thing for me. Like I have to make more money. It's
I'm
like
the same way.
it might be more of a control thing.
Really?
I cannot date someone who makes. I've tried it. I've tried the sugar daddy thing where it's like, you know, if you come to New York, you can live here and you'll never have to work a day in your life, and that sounds horrible to me. Like I have to be busy at all times, no matter, you know what I mean? So like I've tried it, can't do it. The other aspect of it where it's like I've met someone on actual jail websites where you talk to people who are in jail
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
I paid their bail and get them out.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I've literally flown them out here. They have kids, and I'll like buy their kids backpacks and like school supplies, and like I'll fly them out on the weekends, you know, and they go back to their jobs Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday. That's my kind of vibe. It's like a weekend situation.
What do you do for the weekend? You have sex?
No, yeah, sometimes. I mean, it's not always expected. I mean, to me, in the gay community, sex is so easy. Like I could log in right now and scroll and be like, let me just go take a break real quick and be back and be like, oh, you know, I just busted.
Yeah.
So to me, no, I'm very much time spent is my love language, I guess you'd say. So it's like, if I'm going to spend time with you or vice versa, that's going to be above all. Cause like, I don't know. Yeah. So,
But it's been 3 years since you went like on a legitimate date.
yeah, for sure.
And what
for
turned
sure.
you off with that guy?
That's tough to say. I don't even remember. My life is so busy, Alexander. Like I don't even remember.
Okay,
half of it,
we're
so.
all busy.
We are
but,
all
like,
busy,
We
but
all
I
still
think
have
I'm-
time for love. But I understand what you're saying. When you feel you lead such a great life being on your own.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for somebody to
For
come in.
sure.
But we all have those moments of companionship. Are you guys ever afraid that you're filling the void of other relationships by being with each other?
That's probably a good thing. I'd almost prefer that
Yeah.
because
At least it's a healthy way of doing it. And not,
What if she were to find like a really hardcore boyfriend and start dating and be like, well, I don't have time for all of this?
No. I
don't
told
think
myself
that would
I will
ever
never put myself in that position.
the one thing that we both
again.
agree on is making money kind of supersedes anything else.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
But money comes and goes so quickly. Life comes and goes so
Yeah,
quickly.
no, I
yeah,
trust
but
it,
life
I
is
get
more
it.
fun when you can afford to take helicopters places and you can afford to go and do nice shit. Like if you
Have you ever
can't
taken a bus to Skid Row?
exactly
Get some stuff. It's fun.
Hot guys there, you know.
No, but I mean, we can
Some hot
really
guys
go
on
deep.
Skid Row.
We can go deep into this,
Shower and a
but
meal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a little break. Let's do some hot topics that we got sent in. So I want your first opinion.
Okay.
I saw my good friend's boyfriend on Grindr. They don't have an open relationship. Do I say something?
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Explain
Look out for
why
the
no.
homie.
So but really, you realize she loves the chaos.
Yeah.
See, that's so of course she's gonna jump into that
But
shit.
aren't you looking out for your friends?
I'm a loyalty girl.
and then
so
wondering
I
if they're
will
going to
say-
bring in some
Listen, Alexander,
dick with weird stuff coming out?
you can't wreck a happy home. So at the end of the day, if they're not both happy
That's a
with
good title
something,
of something, by the way.
if they're not both happy with something, that's their issue. You know
But
what
shouldn't
I mean?
your
Who-
friend know? That's your friend. You can give a shit about who he's dating, but
Then
your
I would
friend
actually
should know.
approach the other person first. I'd be
and
like,
say,
you
are you
need to.
going to tell him or am I going to tell him?
I wouldn't say those words, but I'd be like, I suggest you. I'm going to suggest you tell him because it's going to fall apart, and I'm going to get to say I told you so. Like that's my thing.
I think
But
it's just being a good friend.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
for sure. I'm saying
Would
I'm
we
I'm an
disagree?
open book, as you see. Can't keep a secret.
All right, next one. My boyfriend has gained weight consistently since COVID lockdown. Now we're heading into the holiday season, and I know he's going to gain even more. It's starting to affect my attraction to him. Am I allowed to say something? I don't want to be mean or make him feel bad.
I am a. You're going to hate me for this. I'm a fat
Why
shamer.
would I hate you?
I'm a fat shamer. Well, I mean, because it's my.
I'm a curvy
It
girl.
might not.
and
No,
fine,
no. But I
like,
mean, it
you
might
go
not be
be
on.
you.
It
It
might
sounds
not
like
be
you're
on.
real happy in your love life.
No, it might not be on brand with this, but I mean, I just think that I. It doesn't take a lot to not be morbidly obese, or like I don't know. It's tough. How do you even know how to
Have
word
you
this?
ever been chubby in your life?
Yeah, I'm chubby right now.
Oh.
Get out. Get out!
No. Okay, here's my
I
thing.
love when
So
skinny people like do this. But go ahead.
no. But I do try hard to be skinny or to be my weight. Like I fast every single day. I do a 14-hour fast. You know, I work out fasted.
But that's ridiculous. That's not a normal life. Like, no offense, but like,
I don't.
where's
but
the
hold on.
enjoyment
I'm
in
gonna
that?
argue-
Like,
but
what if
hold
you
on.
want to have a piece of cake?
I'm gonna argue this real quick.
Yeah, please do.
The fact that we have
hot topics,
the fact that we have such easy access to food isn't natural or normal as it is. You shouldn't be able
especially
to,
in the U.S. Like, if you look at U.S. sizes, I'm with you on this.
you shouldn't just be able to walk into your fridge and just eat whatever you want. In other countries, like
well,
you know,
I don't know about that.
even like starving countries where it's like you eat when you can or you eat when the sun is at the highest point in the sky. Like, you know, the fact Americans, we just get to just open our fridge and we have everything's sugar. Literally everything is. Our bread has sugar in it,
Preservatives,
for Christ's
everything.
sake. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, limit yourself a little bit. Like I tell people when they're like, oh, I just want to lose a couple pounds. I'm like, okay, just do you see that fourth meal you're having? Maybe make it not as big. You know what I mean? Like that, or your third meal or whatever. Just maybe cut the portion size in half. You don't have to stop eating. Don't starve yourself. You don't have to do. You don't have to go to the freaking gym for Christ's sakes. But like,
You just have to fast 14 hours a day. Okay.
oh, I do that because I think it fights cancer personally. I've done a lot of research where it's like when your body goes into starvation, when it starts eating like other parts of your body, which are like cancer cells or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of research on it. India, they're really
cancer's
big
gonna
on
get you, it's gonna
fasting
get
and- right?
If it's a family thing, it's gonna get you.
Well, see, I mean, I've
unfortunately,
heard of
no matter
people
what
who
you
have actually cured types of cancer by just fasting because your body will eat the cancer cells. Like,
True.
no, it's very true. Like your body goes like it's.
do. Why didn't you eat your gonorrhea then?
Oh, bastards!
Oh, well, because he gave it to me. It's
But
eating
here's
me
also
right
the
now.
thing: if I had $2, I could go to McDonald's and get a double cheeseburger for $2. Could I get a salad at McDonald's? No.
I mean, I personally salads aren't great for you either.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
I'm just-
we can go deep into this. I have a lot of time
So,
on my
but
hands and I
here's the
research,
thing,
but I
what-
see what you're saying. Yes.
But here's what I also appreciate is that you're
It's-
being honest.
yeah.
You know, we talk about the things that we put on our hookup apps.
Uh-huh.
I'm not into this. I'm not into this. And yes, we should be politically correct for a certain level, but you can't tell your body to get hard over something that you're not going to
Yeah.
get hard over. Like, no
Yeah.
matter what you try to be
But
as nice
real
as you
quick,
want.
I'm gonna backtrack real quick.
Yeah.
You could take that $2, and this is
Oh
this
my
you're
God,
gonna sound.
you're gonna
hold on,
piss
this is
me
gonna
off.
sound crazy to you, but you know a lot of people grow their own food or vegetables. It's like those $2. You could buy a fucking packet of fucking tomato seeds and have your own goddamn tomato plant, but people just don't do it because they're lazy. That's it. It's pure.
Tell me
laziness.
how many people in LA have room for a garden in their studio apartment that they're struggling to pay rent for?
Hey, if you go on Amazon and you get a starter pack for $25,
It's
you
just
can
so
have your
easy
own
for-
goddamn
okay.
garden. I actually know quite a few people who have their own little gardens in their houses. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna wait 6 months for a tomato to grow. And meanwhile, I'm gonna pass away from not eating. You're talking to somebody.
pass away from not eating, Alexander. I promise you that.
He tries it.
Oh,
He tries it.
My friend, you
Girl,
just
he
made a wrong
tries
move. 'cause it's
it.
my
Oh,
show.
it's funny.
My name's on the
I
thing.
actually saw a fun video though of this woman who was probably around 400 or 500 pounds talking to the doctor, and she's like, "I need
I'm
to."
not 400 or 500 pounds, bitch.
I'm just saying. She's telling the doctor, she's like, "Doctor, I'm really hungry," and he goes, he looks at her and he goes, "Don't worry, you're not gonna starve to
yeah,
death."
no, I saw that.
But I was just laughing because it's it actually was kind of an eye opener for me because I'll be on our podcast because I'll be 14 hours into my fast and we'll film. I'm like, shit, we have another 2 hours to go, and I'm like, I'm starving.
You
and
get hangry.
Yeah, that happened today actually.
Very
and because I literally just barely ate my first meal before coming here, and I kind of went off on our editor for not taking a correct picture. I'm like, motherfucker. But
You sound like a good time. Okay, but if you're in a relationship, aren't you falling in love with the person? I agree. In the first couple of years, you are dating what you like.
yeah,
Like,
I want to hear
yes.
Cheyenne
So
response
if
to
they're
this answer
hiking,
actually.
yeah, but let me just finish.
Yeah.
So like, if they're a hiker and
Yeah.
you're in hiking, and then 2 years into it, all they want to do is sit and watch TV,
Yeah.
you're dating somebody that's different.
1000%.
And physically, you can't tell you to get excited about somebody who's chunky if you're such a fat shamer. But you just can't.
Yeah.
No matter what. Okay. No.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
I can't wait for the comments.
Well,
on this
it's
one.
for me. Okay, so I like really, like very, very hot guys. And I like skinny guys. I like
Yep.
guys that are like
emo rock star.
emo
guys.
rock star guys. Yeah, typically very skinny. You know,
6'5".
yeah,
or above.
tall, lanky.
Because they're usually like.
Yeah, look like Jack Skellington. But I will say this. I do have a certain expectation, obviously, for what I want. But then once I look into your eyes and I say I love you, that is my like forever
Yeah.
promise to you that I when I say I love you, that means I will be there for you through any situation in your life. And usually they always leave me. But yeah, and I made that promise, and I told myself, like, if let's say the guy I'm with gets into a car accident and I have to like wipe his shit every day, I would do that. I would do it. And I would be grateful, and I will tell them every day I love them.
And especially if you have kids, you are falling in love with the father of your children.
Yeah, people
And
forget, like,
people
it's
change.
when you
Someday,
say I
Anthony,
love
you're
you,
gonna
it's
you're gonna
important.
gain a few pounds that you're not gonna be able to get rid of.
It happens to anyone, you know. But I would hope that
Ozempic.
the person feels the same way about me. But yeah, it's a promise. I keep.
You're talking to the only person that has gained weight on Ozempic. The nurse, he was even like, the nurse had to come
Gotta do
over
Mounjaro.
and be like, I don't think you're doing it right.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh.
I'm on Mounjaro.
You gotta do Monjaro.
No, I
Yeah,
tried.
it's
I
okay.
stopped it. It wasn't doing anything but
Um,
costing me money.
to wrap that hot topic up real quick.
Oh, I have to say this about
Oh,
both
yeah,
of
yeah.
you though.
Uh-huh.
You also bring it too.
What do you mean?
In terms of like looks and keeping yourself fit,
Oh.
and like you're making that. So
That's
should
exact-
this person be able to tell their boyfriend, "Hey, you're gaining some weight," and
So the bottom line to answer that question is honesty is the best policy, because at the end of the day, if you're not happy in that relationship, then that's where cheating happens. That's where like animosity starts. You know, I had a situation where I was dating someone who, going into it, had really big dreams and drive, and he was actually trying to build houses for the homeless people when partnering with the city of West Hollywood, and was going to bring in shipping containers and blah blah blah. And then my fault. I mean, it's 100% my fault, but I spoil. That's my thing, is I'm a spoiler. Like, I like want you to buy you the nice dinners, the this.
is it a control thing?
It might be, and
I love that he's buying nice dinners for people he wants to keep skinny. I love that.
that's it. And it's very oxymoronic, because another thing is I bought the biggest downfall to my relationship, and with him it was one of the longer relationships. We were almost 3 years through COVID, or before COVID.
Wow.
I bought him an Xbox 360 or whatever it was, Xbox X. I don't fucking know. I don't play video games, but he sat on that couch for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
His goals, dreams, aspirations, everything about building homeless shelters, gone. And you know what? He was a different person.
COVID did weird things to a lot of
This
people.
is before
though.
COVID. No, this is 2019.
Oh.
And
You took too much. You took too good care of him.
that's 100%. I changed this person essentially, because he went from being driven in this. Why are you gonna be? Don't go to work like, here, I'll give you money and cuddle and like, let's go
Play your little
shopping,
games.
literally. And then I began to fucking hate him. So same thing with that one. It's like, shit.
Do you think you set your boyfriends up to break up?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, let's do this final topic and let's get back to talking about you guys. My husband and I have been married for 10 years. This is the first year he will not be attending my family's Thanksgiving because of the way they voted. Should I make him
God.
come
God, no.
with me? Is he being too dramatic? And I don't want to get political
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all.
No, we're not getting political.
Let's focus on.
But we actually
should-
were gonna do a commercial about this. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Tell them about the commercial. idea.
So
Don't.
oh
Don't. give it away.
No. We ended up not doing it, but it was like I was gonna make. We were gonna make a fake commercial, basically selling this like product where it was basically like flavoring for your food, but it's like I don't know, something like whatever kills people, like bleach or something. And it was basically gonna be like, oh, if you don't have the emotional maturity to get along with your, just kill them, like basically to kill them this Thanksgiving.
And then have like
So-
the grandma walk into the thing and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hey, grandma," because she's wearing like a Trump hat or
Yeah,
some
or
shit, and you
something.
try to kill her. So it's like,
Try to kill her.
but going
So
back to
glad
that,
you didn't do that, by the way.
but going back to that,
This is like we got this. I got this message today from Instagram. I actually know who it is. And we're talking 10 years of going to the family and
wild.
putting up with some weird comments.
Yeah.
We have to, and again, we're not going to get political. This election was weird for both sides. And it really caused a lot of trauma for a lot of people.
Right.
And so I think this holiday, a lot of people are going through this.
and it's not just affecting, it's affecting a lot larger parts. We're even noticing on social media, there's a lot of people who are deleting Twitter now and they're going to Blue Sky and they're going.
Which we were supposed to go to Threads. And
exactly.
That didn't
So,
work,
I mean, people are now like scrambling to figure themselves out. I think that situation right there, it's just so, at the end of the day, regardless of who becomes president, how is it affecting your life that bad that you're going to destroy family ties? Like, it's just, it's crazy to me. I don't know. I don't think any election or politician or anything would ever get in my way to do so. I don't know.
I just think it's
I
your
disagree with you.
time. It's your
Yeah.
time to really create space for yourself at a table. Like if you feel like the current president is bringing you down, then you need to create your own space. As hard as that is, you know what I mean? But like get up and put yourself in rooms that, let's say, people don't necessarily agree with you or don't understand your lifestyle, and make them get to know who you are as a person. Because all of us, whether who you voted for or whatever, we all have parallels in life. We all deal with the same emotions
That's a
and
really good
everything.
point.
So it's like, if I can relate to you of like, hey, do you know what it feels like to be rejected? Do you know what it feels like to get your heart broken? Do you know and just because you are some 70-something-year-old white man who, whatever, and I am the way I am, we can find parallels in our lives, and you can then have respect for me and I can have respect for you. That is it. But politics is all, I'm a conspiracy theorist, it's all divide and conquer. And if you want to control people, you want to, divide them. But I think we as human beings need to get back to community. We need to get back to creating spaces. We need to, especially if the queer community is feeling very attacked, this is the time where you need to fucking shine. And you need to go out there and say, hey, this is who I am, and put yourself in those spaces. Like,
So show up and be part
Exactly.
of it. Plus, we have to remember
100%.
what the idea of Thanksgiving is. It's like, it's not about, it's about, okay, we have these memories
Yeah.
with our family or our friendship circle or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's going to matter in 10 years.
I think the
Exactly.
crazy part to me is that people, I see my personality is so big. I prefer to put myself in situations
same.
like that with people.
I don't
who-
agree in going to be antagonistic just to start shit. I don't believe
No,
that.
no, no, no.
No,
He's
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
putting
no.
yourself
I just like to put myself in situations where people disagree with me because not to be antagonistic, because I like people to
But
kind
you're
of.
looking for that.
No, the thing is, I don't know a lot about politics. I didn't go to school for it. You know what I mean? I only know buying houses. That's it. But if someone tries to change my mind, I'm always open to it. You know what I mean? For anything, whether it is, if you're gonna tell me pussy's better, I'm gonna say, okay, why? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You look at me that face. It's like, why? I mean, if you can put up a good enough fight, then maybe I'll try it. You know what I mean? I like to put myself in situations where it challenges my brain personally.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you put yourself in
But
echo chambers in
Thanksgiving's
general.
not the time to challenge anybody.
No, for
it's the time to
sure,
just
no.
sit. And,
But even
and if we're
just-
talking about 10-year marriage,
But even just, in my opinion, because like I grew up in Texas, so, and I go back and forth
my
to
family's
Texas
from Texas,
all the time.
El Paso.
Yeah. And I go like this to Texas, you know what I mean? And it's like so many times, so many people, so many extended family members of my friends, they'll meet me and they'll be like, wow, I've never met someone like you,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm like, good, you need to meet someone like me. You need to have a conversation.
If you would have met
with
somebody
me.
like you while you were growing up, your whole life would have.
Your whole life would have
would've
changed.
come together
Exactly. And
faster.
that's the thing. It's like so many people don't know. And I think I get it. I get it. I understand traumas. I understand PTSD. And I have a lot of respect for people, who go through that. But just try your best to show up in every single room and be fucking seen. Be loud, be seen. Because if you just shy away and you think like, oh my God, the world is out to get me, then no one's going to get to know you.
And why don't you just ask the host of whoever's hosting the dinner, be like, can we open up the dinner by saying, hey, no politics, we're
politics.
just enjoying each
Something.
other.
Yeah.
And finding the common ground
Yeah.
with people that you know.
Yeah.
Or being able to say, you know what, I need to I need to walk outside. I need to take a breath.
I've met so many racist, transphobic grandmas, grandpas, and they met me and they fucking love me. And I'm
100%.
Middle Eastern, you know, like I'm Middle Eastern. I'm Iranian. So.
That's even like double.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
Double.
For sure.
And like you said, you didn't understand the trans community.
Oh,
When I came out, when my first years in West Hollywood, I didn't understand the trans community until I sat with one of the most beautiful trans women. And we drank, we talked for 5 hours.
I'm just kidding.
But I mean, this was many years ago. We talked for 5 hours and she was like, whatever question you want, just ask. And then I realized I didn't really have that many questions.
Yeah.
I just didn't have that connection. And that's what, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think the gay community is getting better at becoming better brothers and sisters
For sure.
to the trans community.
Absolutely.
It's
I
still
think
a
the opposite.
slow.
Huge change.
Oh,
really?
this is good.
For my own
Yep.
personal
Only,
experience.
I think the opposite only because, and I don't know if you're on Grinder at all, but I do know that Grinder has
You sent me
become
your butt pic on Grinder. You didn't know it was me.
Grinder has become very, very trans central. Like it's like
The dolls have
they have taken over Grinder 100%. So I've noticed
I
that a
just
lot
had
of
this conversation.
Yeah.
a lot of people are. I mean, Sniffies, yeah, but Sniffies is wild. It's like
Sniffies is getting really kooky.
it's crazy.
All these fetishes I didn't even know existed are
Yep,
like
100%. Yeah, nude male, clothed male. I just learned that one up the other day. NMCM.
Yeah.
Weird.
That's
Didn't
a
know
hot
about that.
porn, actually.
undouched ass. Why is
Yeah,
that? a
yeah.
fetish? Anyway,
So-
anyway.
But no, so I actually think that because now that I do have a podcast with a trans girl, I do find a lot of people in, even in lieu of the newest presidency who've come up and they're just like, your trans friend is in danger. And I'm like, whoa. Like, calm down. Like, why are you telling me this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I tell her, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? But it almost, they were coming at me as almost attacking me because of her. And it's like, I'm like, are you attacking me because I'm friends with the trans girl or because of the new president? Like, it felt really weird, and just like, well, they all just go on Grinder and just everything's TS Central and everything wants CD. And I'm just like, all right.
Not
So
everything, but it has definitely changed. There's a lot of straight guys, and if you happen to message them or whatever, they're like, F you, F word, and gay, whatever.
no, it's true. I
And how
made
did this
her.
become a meeting place for? And I actually think it's dangerous because I have trans friends that are on Grinder. They'll meet a military man, and then they'll have a great evening, and then he'll turn around and beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, we have a friend that she got stabbed 9 times
Yeah.
on
Grindr.
from
It's
off
dangerous.
Grindr.
Yeah.
Let's be
And
honest.
then they love
Any
to
hookup app
say-
meeting is
yeah.
dangerous, but we
And
don't
then
do
they
it.
love to say like, "Oh, I didn't know," and it's like, "Babe, you were on
Yeah.
Grinder, you knew, like, you knew
Yeah,
exactly what the fuck
100%.
you
It's
were
almost
doing."
like when a straight guy goes to a glory hole, you can't possibly think that a real fucking female is behind that hole. Like, what real cis woman
Or trans
gets on her
woman.
knees and no, there's a lot of trans girls.
Oh,
Cis woman gets on her knees and does, and I don't know. It's just like,
This is a whole new. I'm like, what do you do in your free time? Now I just imagine that you're just like, let's go to glory. Oh, he didn't say no. Okay. All right.
I have a glory on my house.
Let's get back
Um,
to the two of you.
yeah.
You have talked very openly about
wait,
being
is
a
there
sex
no more hot
worker.
topics? I want to hear more hot topics.
No, we have more, but let's
Oh,
let's,
okay,
let's
good.
get back to you guys. And
I
we're
like
gonna go
that.
back to hot topics. You've talked very openly about sex work. We know sex work is such a hot topic right now. And there's all these assumptions about being a sex worker. I have many sex worker friends.
Yeah.
They can afford a better apartment than I ever will. They're buying their houses. They're living their life.
Yeah.
And they're in power of their sexuality. Can you talk about how you got into sex work and some of the myths you want to debunk right away?
Well, so I started, I want to say when I was 22 years old. I needed to get surgeries. I had like literally $80 to my name. I had no surgeries. And I remember a trans mother of mine was like, just open up a care credit, get your boobs, and then just start sex working. And I was like, and she was like, it'll pay for itself. And I was like, okay. I called in, lied. I said, oh, I make $200K a month, got approved and was able to get my boobs right away. It was my first major surgery that I did.
What was that surgery like? Do you remember waking
was-
up afterwards?
It was fabulous. Boobs are like instant. It's like instant gratification. Face is very like, oh my God, you have to wait, and the swelling and the this, and oh, this is looking this way, and then you have to correct this, but boobs is just instant. And so I got those babies, and I'm pretty sure I like hooked up with a guy 3 days. I saw a tape on my boobs, and I was just like making money right away because I was like, I gotta churn and burn. And that was sort of when I fell into it. And in the beginning, yeah, it was amazing. It was so great. I'd never held that much money ever in my life. And to make it so fast. But
was it more about more than the money, though. It was like you were coming into your own identity too.
Well, I
and
had
being
already,
able to.
I'd done
celebrate
a lot of like sexual exploration before that, and I was running into a lot of issues of like guys wanting to keep me a secret or guys not wanting to take me seriously, and so I got very depressed and self-conscious about it. Why doesn't anyone want me? And so then when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, I will keep you a secret if you fucking pay me, basically, and if you don't pay me, then I have free
Pay
reign.
for your hypocrisy.
Then I have free reign to talk about it, just like any other girl can talk about it. I can talk about it.
Yeah.
So it kind of turned into that, and it started off amazing, like all things. But I don't want to sit here and promote it because I think there's a lot of people promoting sex work. Like, yeah, do it, quit your job, be.
But I know many people
don't do it. It's actually
love
like,
it.
yeah,
No, you okay?
no, I do, and I'm very grateful for it, and I'm very blessed for it. But at the same time, it is it's a very slim, like, you can just go down a very dark path very easily. And I know a lot of girls who have, you start making a lot of money, your ego gets into it, you start getting greedy, you start getting like hungry for it, and then
you spend more too.
Yeah,
and then when it's gone,
exactly.
you're like, oh
and
shit.
as fast as the money is coming in, it's going out. And I just think, and this might sound crazy, but when I look back at the times when I would work at restaurants and I would bust my ass off for 2 weeks and I'd make like $400, right? I still remember holding so much more value to those $400 than I did from just getting $2K right there, because I felt like I woke up, I got out of bed, I went somewhere and I did this. And that's why I admire Anthony all the time, because he didn't need to be a bartender, but he would still wake up and have purpose every single day. And my grandpa would always say that. He's like, the reason why I'm 90 something years old is because I have purpose every day I wake up. And so for me, I had blackout curtains, and some days I wouldn't see sunlight for like days because I was just sitting, churning and burning clients. And I was like, well,
that
damn.
causes depression too.
Of course, yeah.
It's weird having this connection with people and not having any connection with them at the same time.
I'm like, I need to see sunlight. I need to like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something.
I need tacos so I could have a
But finding that motivation to get up and get out there, and that's why it is hard. In the beginning days of the podcast, I'm like, fuck, like, get up.
You had a very real moment that you guys posted, and I was like, that was a gamble.
Yeah.
You were crying, and you were like, it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
And we saw you break down, and I thought that was such a telling moment because it gives so much validity to the comedy moments too, because you are that real person.
Thank you. Yeah, it really is like a moment where I was just like, I don't know, I need to find some sort of fulfillment. Money can bring happiness to a certain extent. It does not bring fulfillment at all, and so that's what I was craving.
I think you disagree with that. He loves money. He
No,
loves money.
we had this conversation on our podcast too, where it's like, does money buy happiness? And there's so many studies on that.
It's a lot easier to get through life with money. I'll be honest.
I said no, but I meant it in the sense of it doesn't bring fulfillment for sure.
That's 100%.
Yeah, I could see
it
that
makes
too.
you stress-free in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
People gravitate towards you when you have money.
Well,
are
there's
those
that,
real friendships though?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yes. So there's a saying that I would say sometimes, and I kind of added to it because it's like there's a saying of like, the person who's willing to do anything will have everything. But, and I added that this kind of the end is like, but that person could have nothing at all, because at the end of the day, it's like, you couldn't have no family and you just die alone, and like that's why I'm like, shit, I really want to have a kid. But like, even having a kid is a gamble. You don't know if your kid's gonna love you. You know what I mean? Like your kid could absolutely freaking loathe you, and it's like, shoot. But
how did your family deal with your transition?
In the beginning, I went about 6 months without talking to my mom, and it took her, I want to say, up till 2 years ago to finally start gendering me correctly.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've always been Shayan. That's my birth name. So luckily they didn't have to learn a new name. My dad I didn't talk to for about 9 years, and then we just started building a relationship.
She matched with her dad on Bumble.
No, that's a lie. No, I didn't.
Leave it to Anthony. Keep it respectful and classy.
No, but yeah, and so now we're kind of like we're working on building.
But how
up a
special is it
friendship.
that you're working on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of it is he's older, and he's like, why fight the fight? Like, why not? At some
There's
point,
that period of
people
time
just,
like my grandma was Catholic and
Yeah.
Mexican and like all of this conservative
Yeah.
stuff, and she got to the point of saying,
What's
what
the
am I
point?
fighting against?
Yeah.
you make me happy. You fill me with love. Like, what?
Yeah,
who
and that was their
cares?
thing. They saw me. They were like, "Wow, finally, you're like, happy. You're yourself. You're confident in yourself." I mean, obviously.
And you're not calling them, hey, I can't pay rent this month.
Yeah,
Literally.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And again, like we say, money doesn't buy happiness, but when your family sees that you are totally self-sufficient,
1,000%.
they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, maybe their life.
That's one of the biggest things
choices
that kept
are
me
smart.
from coming out is because I was
What
like,
was your coming out story?
I didn't really have a coming out story. It was more or less like when the wife situation fell apart. She obviously told my family, and it actually ruined.
But you hadn't been having sex with men like early
not
on?
really. Like I'd jerk off with a dude, but like it was more or less that like
Bro.
I love gay shit.
yeah, nothing crazy.
Sexy.
And would you say, like, and I've heard this said so many times about you, it's like, oh, he's passable, which I hate that term so much, but people have talked about, like, he doesn't walk in a room and you're like, okay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yes. Was that a
Well,
question or was that?
No, I'm just saying, so that goes along with, like, not having to come out or.
Yeah, no, I never really had a big coming. For me, I just didn't care too much about other people's personality or other people's opinions. I don't know. I had an epiphany one day where it's just like I'm walking through a crowd of people and I'm like, I'm never gonna see any of these people ever again. I could like butt naked right now and just not give a fuck, you know? Because I used to actually really, really care what people thought about me. I did my eyebrows. I would
Because
like
we're in West Hollywood and we're told.
and
Who
working
are
at the
you?
bar, yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's like I had to be on all the time, and we used to have to be shirtless when I first started at Mickey's back in 2009.
I remember, I
you know,
missed
it was like
those days.
had to be shirtless, and then like things started getting a little like, oh well, we can't make you guys do it, but you can wear a shirt. And then I was like, oh, I'll start wearing a shirt. You know what I mean? And then it's like now when people are trying to get me shirtless, I'm like, that's at least $100. You know what I mean? Like I'm not taking my shirt off for nobody. Shit, Cheyenne doesn't get naked on her OnlyFans, and she makes a shit ton of money. You know what I mean? Like why the hell am I showing my titties off?
Well, for free. Pay-per-view. I am.
Oh yeah. Not for
PPP.
yeah. No, but I just stopped caring. I think what people think, and then
Yeah.
I think money played a big role in this. And we haven't even talked about this conversation in ours. Is that like, you know, it comes to a point where like, this is gonna sound really bad, so I'm probably not gonna.
No, say it. Maybe I'll help you with it. When you look a certain way and you have certain money in your wallet, you can feel that way because it gives you that freedom.
Yeah.
Other people do not have that freedom.
No, for
Other people that move from Texas, let's say, and they're struggling to make it and they don't look a certain way, and they come to LA or West Hollywood to fit into this vibrant community.
Yeah.
Community's not that welcoming.
Yeah.
And so there is a
No,
difference.
it's really
Well,
not.
and this might be a very dark turn, but I'm just gonna be real since that's what I'm
Keep
about
it coming.
is-
Keep it coming.
Is for in the trans world, you know what I mean? The reason why so many people are like, why do trans girls care so much about their appearance? You know, why do they care about like this and that and this? And it's like we not only just want to be women, we want to be like the literal perfection of whatever women can be. I think a lot of us. I mean, there's definitely
I was
a
gonna say,
spectrum. Yeah.
I have many trans female
Yeah.
friends. They don't want to do the glamour. They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
They
Be
just
a
want to
doll.
live authentically.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But I feel like so many of us, like at least for me, and the reason why that I am always like so on it with being put together is because in my earlier days of my transition, it was very dark. It was very horrible. And I noticed that the better I looked, the more guys wanted to pay me and fuck me than beat me up. And so, as fucked up as that may sound,
That
so
is
that's why
dark.
I have my darkness. And now I'm in a place now where I'm more comfortable. And
I was
yes,
going to ask,
I
do you
will-
find beauty when you're in your
Oh,
sweats and you're just hanging
now
around the
I
house?
actually, and I tell people this all the time, I feel my most beautiful, no makeup, just chilling,
Hmm.
you know? But I do sometimes still feel this need to little, you know, it's like a protection for me.
And sometimes we need that little boost of attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a dark turn for sure.
No, but
you know,
here's what we do on the show.
Yeah.
We drink a little bit and we talk
Yeah.
about like real things that are affecting
yeah,
people.
we're working through them.
And I love the more stories that we share. Like the three of us could be more different if we tried.
Yeah.
But
I
we
love
still
it,
come
though.
from, we've dealt with depression, we've dealt with grief,
Yeah.
we've dealt with our identity, we've dealt with body issues.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
not you, because you like to fat shame. But, so, okay, let's bring back to you,
I just
real
want people to be
life.
healthy. Be healthy.
I'm pretty healthy, just so you know.
I'm not. Why are you? Whoa, you're taking everything so personally.
No, he's like, oh, I saw
No,
a 400
you're-
and 500 pound show. Reminded me of you.
like you're thick. I actually
I'm
like
fine.
thicker guys. Like we had.
Oh,
Hold on, no.
Are
We-
you in your little
we
Cybertruck in
just
reverse? Because they
had-
don't do reverse.
We just had this conversation on the last podcast where it's like, I think there's bads of both. If you're too skinny and you have thigh gaps, that's Cheyenne's type, I think it's unhealthy.
He doesn't like that.
At the end of the day, it's unhealthy.
It's not cute.
No.
If you look like a Barbie doll that could just fold in half, no. That's
I don't need abs at all. Actually, I prefer you to not have abs. I like just like a healthy person, whether it's thick or not, just like not a morbidly obese, not someone who is at risk of either direction. Because you could be super skinny and still have diabetes.
Okay, you're digging yourself a hole.
Dig deeper.
You had plans in this last year to become a father.
Last 3 years, it's been a.
I didn't know until I went to his house and saw the studio that you guys have. He's like, "Oh, that's for the nanny." I'm like, "What nanny?" And I was like, "Oh, kinky." He's like, "No." Again, because you keep your private life very private. When did this idea to become a single dad come out?
I did keep it private until this damn podcast.
No, you had a baby shower I wasn't invited to.
Yeah, no. So I started the process prior to COVID, right before COVID, actually. So 4 or 5 years. Oh my God, right? Yes. Yeah, it was right before COVID hit.
Did you talk to her first about it?
Well, I'm trying to think because it was my birthday / like I made the announcement.
Didn't get invited to his birthday either. Just so everybody knows.
A baby, but yeah, no. So it's something I've always wanted. I've wanted to have a kid for a very long time now. But I've just every time I get closer, like I'm pretty far along in the surrogacy program. Like the egg is fertilized. It's kind of like sitting there waiting to actually go into a surrogate. I just haven't pulled that trigger because every time I try to, I just get cold feet. I don't know. I'm just not ready for it.
I think that's so smart when a parent is like, I'm not ready. Why bring a kid in when you're not ready?
Most people do, though, and that's what's fucked up is I know people who are just complete idiots that, like, can't even operate a motor vehicle and they have 3 children. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, how? Why? You know? And here I am. I'm like, no, I want to make sure I have this amount in my bank account.
There's
I wanna
also
have this,
too regimented, too, that you do have a bedroom for your nanny. Like, you have this plan. When my mom had me out of wedlock in Texas, she was, the whole family was like, oh, whatever. She went ahead and did it. I had one of the most happiest childhoods,
I love that.
happiest relationship with my mom. Was she prepared? She would never have been prepared.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
My mom had me. She was 18, so I get it. So I see.
My
both
mom was
sides of it.
21.
And like I'm like, but I also saw the struggles of young parents where it's like a lot of relationships.
My mom never made it a struggle for me. We just shared so much happiness.
That's good then.
So if you're always gonna, because you're so organized, if you're always gonna wait, maybe.
I know it's like waiting.
Is
for
there
a
ever a
new
perfect
iPhone.
time to become a parent?
No, not at all.
I don't think so.
When are you gonna feel that?
Well,
'Cause I know you want kids.
I want to do. So one of my really good friends, she did this, but I want to do foster to adopt, basically. So I want to go and be a foster mom.
tough,
Yeah,
though.
and I want like
The
a
courts are so awful.
2, 3, 4-year-old boys.
Yes.
Yeah. And so yeah, I just think it would be if she got very lucky, you know, she adopted.
She's gonna be like the mom on The Longest Yard.
Yeah, yeah, no, basically that's literally.
I want to
what
be
my
6'5" at like
dream-
14.
My dream, no, literally, my dream is to just be like, yeah, I love that movie. Actually, it's so good. She's so iconic in that movie.
Wait, is it The
Sandra
Longest
Bullock.
Yard?
Yeah, The
Yeah,
Longest.
right?
Or no. The Blind Side.
The Blind Side.
Yes, yes. I
Sorry,
knew
Longest
you were
Yard is Adam
talking-
Sandler.
Oh my God.
Now, are you nervous at all putting all of this content out on Keep It Coming podcast? Someday you want to be a dad. Your kid's going to look up some of the stuff that you've done. Your kids are going to look up some of the stuff you've done. Did you have any trepidation of being so free and honest with this podcast?
Only because I am going from a super private life to a lot more open life.
That's what I was going to say. I've never seen you act this way.
Yeah, quite a few people told me that too. They're like, dang, like
I've seen you drunk,
really
but I haven't
opening
seen you
up.
act free.
Right. They're like, you're
Does that make
really
sense?
opening yourself up to a lot of, criticism, a lot of this, a lot of that. But like,
100%.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I'm thinking about your future kids.
Yeah, that's gonna be a different story. Who knows? I could be dead. But it's hard to say.
For me, I always think because my parents were very, very much tried to shelter me as much as possible, and I do love and respect them in that sense. But I was such a late bloomer for so many things, and so I feel like I was very chaotic later on. I feel like if I were to just be open with my kids of like, hey, this is the negative effects of what happened to me, just to let you know. But like, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here, and just then they're not gonna want to do it. If you tell a kid like, oh, go drink alcohol, don't tell your kids to do it, but they're not gonna do it. It takes the fun out of like, ooh, I'm gonna be mischievous and I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna be sneaky, I had a friend tell me that she wanted a tattoo so bad, her mom was like, go do it, and she was like, I never did it because all my tattoos were out of rebellion. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 'cause my parents would be the same way. Once we got old enough, because my parents were so young. I've seen my dad do like lines of blow off my mom's butt. Like they were
What?
just wild and younger. And like my dad would come up and be like, "Don't do drugs, kids." But if you do drugs, cocaine is a hell of a drug. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
It keeps you thin, right?
yeah, I've never done coke. To this day,
No,
I've
he
never
never-
done
he's-
coke. I've never done
he
drugs before.
doesn't
With a
do
nose like that, you
anything.
haven't done coke?
I've never done.
He doesn't
I've
do
done
anything
mushrooms is the
besides
only thing I've ever
mushrooms.
done, but I've never done a drug other than that. Never Molly, never.
And
anything
I've
else.
done literally everything. I had very strict parents. He had very
Yeah, my parents. Well, because
open,
I was a product
cool.
of like wild parents, though.
Yeah.
Like my dad had like 3 DUIs in 1 month one time. So like
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, got this.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
do
funny
that.
because my mom was wild in her time. That's
Yeah.
whatever. But then when she had me, her whole life changed. She kept me sheltered. We
Aw,
joked.
bless her.
I moved to West Hollywood and I had my first boyfriend, Thomas.
Aw.
And then we finally had a sex talk. Not the straight sex talk, like any sex talk. She's like,
Yeah.
well, I think, I'm like, okay, it's already happened.
Yeah,
But
you're already blown
so sheltered.
out. Dating Thomas.
So sheltered. But
I've seen
that was
pictures.
funny. Like, we didn't even have our first sex talk because it was so, like, she
Yeah.
just wanted,
Yeah.
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 Okay, are you ready for more hot topics?
I live for the hot topics.
No, this is fun because
Because they're
I
actually
love that you
hot.
guys, like, have an opinion. Sometimes we do hot topics. We're like, whatever you like. No.
Yeah. And we're surprisingly very different with a lot of
Yeah.
things.
And I really like that.
Yeah.
Okay, my manager and I used to blow each other at work.
Hot.
Done
One of
that.
our coworkers ratted on us, and he ended up getting fired. He's been calling and texting me. He somehow thinks I should defend him or quit, and he still thinks we're going to mess around, but I'm over it. What should I do?
Wait. Is this from Fiesta Cantina?
I'm not. I don't give our sources away.
Oh,
my
because
God,
this
the
is very.
lore.
I just heard something like this that happened at Fiesta Cantina. That's wild.
I'm not giving the sources away.
So the question is, I'm sorry. So the person were blowing each other.
So a
some
manager
third
and a
party-
lower level employee,
This
and
is
I don't
fun.
mean lower level in a bad connotation, just servitude type.
Uh-huh.
They were blowing each other at work. Coworker
Subordinate.
reported. Manager got fired. Asked to leave. Blah blah blah. Nothing happened to the other employee. He got written up. Oh, I didn't read that, but I know it. But the manager, who's not there anymore, keeps texting and calling him saying, you should quit too, or you should tell him it really didn't happen, or something.
Yeah.
And then he still wants to hook up. We know when we're in certain positions, I don't know if you guys have ever done theater. When you're in
I
theater,
did.
you
I
date
was a theater
everybody
fan.
in the cast because you're in rehearsals and
Yeah.
you're in performance and it has that allure.
Yeah.
Once it's over, you're like, okay, no, not
Yeah.
into it anymore.
Well, the real question is, was the blowjob good?
Because
Because if it was, then fight for it. Because
No,
it's hard
no.
to find a good blowjob.
But
these
he
days.
says, but I'm over it.
Oh.
Okay, so I know-
Oh, shady.
All right. I don't know if I can answer this question because I know the entire backstory now. And
Give us your opinion without
Lord,
revealing
this is the
anything.
West Hollywood lore.
that's wild.
When I told people we're doing hot topics, all of a sudden it was like, rah, 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 rah. I was like, okay.
You know, I
my
don't think
God.
anyone should expect someone to give up their job for something.
Oh.
Period. You know what I mean?
But
'Cause,
is it
you know,
fair? He was doing the same thing that the manager was doing.
Yeah, but managers and subordinates in every position
That's
is
true.
always
Manager
like
has a
that.
little bit more responsibility.
UPS workers, the
Wow.
managers are absolutely barred from hanging out with subordinates. Period.
that
so
is
like
true.
at the end of the day, the manager had the responsibility of a management role. I'm gonna say you probably should have, adhered to
I kind of
policy
agree
on
with
that. To be honest with you, so
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know what a subordinate is, but yeah.
I don't think the employee owes the manager anything.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you don't want to have sex anymore, you don't want to have sex anymore.
Yeah. But what if he wants it again one day? You never know.
There's just a certain allure in being in the same workspace.
I think
and
there's
it being a little
there's
naughty.
also I've
That's
learned that
hot.
people have a really hard time with the word no, whether it's
Yeah.
saying it or
Yeah.
hearing
Yeah,
it. My
that's
mom
actually true.
was a big. She could not say no growing up, and I would
Mm.
notice she would always get herself into these like get rich quick schemes. She'd do the Kirby vacuums, the Tupperware, the Kent party light,
Don't
the,
tell me Herbalife.
like all of that,
Oh my
like
God,
the
Herbalife.
acai drink, the Voss water. She did all of that because someone would come to the door, and my mom couldn't tell them no. And I learned from that, and I do the exact opposite. I love saying no. I live to say no. So at the end of the day,
You didn't say no to my ex.
oh, why would I? So.
I guess I never bought him for him, just so you know. Okay.
Me either.
I'm
But,
hearing some tea right now. What? I don't even know.
We have
this.
some unfinished business.
Oh
okay.
my God.
Next hot topic.
I don't even know this story, guys.
My partner has become obsessed with fillers and Botox over the last 2 years. It has really become an addiction. Not only is he draining our savings, but he's starting to look ridiculous. He's going overboard. Am I allowed to put my foot down and get him to stop?
Yes. And I'm gonna say this. Okay, get Botox. Yes,
I love
Botox is
Botox.
preventative. It's good, but filler.
You do Botox?
Since I was 25.
Did you save the receipt?
Bitch.
Ooh. But filler though, don't do filler. Like
I don't see filler. You're putting
because,
shit
no,
in your
because
face.
filler. Here's the thing. Here's where I fucked up. Right. Okay. So I had to have a facelift at 30 years old because I used to be.
What?
Yes. I'm 32. I had a facelift.
Did
Yeah,
you
full
drive her home
facelift.
from the hospital?
No, I was in Plano,
Got an
Texas.
Uber.
Shout out Dr. Raphael. Love you so much. Literally made me hot. But yeah, no, I used
You were
to get
hot inside and out.
so
without that.
much filler in my face because I was addicted. You know, I wanted to be like one of those microwave.
too
I wanted to be one of those
young.
microwave trans girls. Like you can't ice a square cake round. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta go under the knife. If you really feel like you're falling, go under the knife and just get a pull. But if you put filler in, it's gonna stretch out your skin and then it's gonna go away and then you're gonna sag even worse than you were before. So
Well, that's why you have to get more and then
Yeah,
more and then more.
I think
Yeah.
we're missing the point, though.
and
The point is-
I think this partner doesn't think that they're hot enough for their partner and keeps doing this weird stuff.
Oh, well, I was just giving us. Well, addiction is addiction. You know, it's
Botox
just-
and filler should not be done under anybody
It's fun.
under 40.
It's fun.
Oh, no, that's not true at
Oh,
all.
no, I've
if
been
you ask
getting it since I was
ChatGPT, she actually
18.
says 28 is the proper
Oh.
age.
I was
Just
getting
because it's
Botox.
preventative. So it actually
When's the last time that you had it done?
5 months. I'm due next week, next Tuesday. So
When's the last time
I normally go every 4 months,
this
but
Like,
But go back to the hot
doctor.
topic. We're gonna bring it back around to honesty is the best policy. So I definitely think if it's gonna hurt your relationship in the future, especially your bank account, and
Yeah.
you know
But
where
we've
I
seen
stand on
people
that.
that just look ridiculous.
My
It's like, stop
my
doing it.
advice
Regardless,
to you,
is
get rid
you-
of all the filler and get a facelift. There you go.
Well,
That's gonna definitely-
he's asking for his boyfriend, so I think you should open up a separate account that he doesn't know about and put
No.
your money over there.
That's another hot topic. I think you should be so honest about your credit score, your finances,
Oh, that. But
all of that.
do you think you should have a shared bank
No.
account?
For household stuff, not for if I want to spend $200 on a Snoopy Christmas ornament, which I might have done today.
Oh,
I'm a
so
Snoopy fan.
cute.
Jamie, we're running a little bit over. Is that okay? Okay.
Oh,
Isn't Jamie the best?
so amazing.
best.
Supermodel.
She's gonna go home for a little bit to go back
Yeah.
to school,
Oh
and
my
then she's coming back to the
God.
studio.
Love
my
that.
God,
What happened to
I
your other
love
guy? You fired him. You're a monster.
Jamie, we're not firing you. Okay, next
Supermodel Jamie.
hot topic. Okay, so you should tell him stop getting the fillers
Yeah.
and stop draining our.
Well, I don't know
savings
what. I mean,
account.
the thing is, he already knows the answer to his question, so I'm wondering how.
Am I allowed to
by-
put my foot down and get him to stop?
Are you allowed to? You're allowed to do whatever the hell you want to, in my opinion. But if you're asking for like advice, I mean, why wouldn't you? I guess is the question. Like, what's holding you back?
All right.
Right? Sorry.
Oh, this one's really good. And I know who sent this, but I'm not going to say. My boyfriend recently got into drag. It's his first year. He's been doing really well. He won awards and is getting bookings 5 nights out of a week. Here's the thing. Seeing him in drag is not a turn on at all, and I'm sick of all the rooms being filled with his wigs and nails and clothes taking over the house. I really get turned off when I see him in drag. What should I do? He's loving it and getting to be a name in the community.
I mean, all these questions. Why?
Well, I feel like he
hold
doesn't.
on. Real quick, my question to all of these people, to
These
anyone,
are like things I know that are happening.
but like, why is it so effing hard for people to just be honest with people? I don't know.
Because, Anthony, people date and they fall in love.
Yeah.
And so when there's a love quotient, like you said,
Yeah.
you build a different kind of relationship. And
Yeah.
so what you thought was a priority in terms of them having abs or a big dick or whatever,
Yeah.
it goes away.
Yeah.
And you're in love with the relationship and you don't want to hurt that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
but-
we talk about drag.
But hold on,
That's
hold on,
a
hold
whole
on.
different. Let me finish.
Okay.
But it's a whole different environment too.
Yeah.
Drag is expressing yourself in a
Yeah.
whole
I
different
love
way.
it.
But we're also dealing with, and I'll be honest, I've dealt with this too. Like, as much as my voice is like, hi, and I do this, I prefer masculine men in the bedroom. I prefer masculine men in a relationship. When you see somebody that you've been dating do drag, it's a whole different energy. And I could see how it's maybe not sexy.
Yeah.
And it's not a popular opinion, but I believe that.
Yeah, no. I see your point, and I'm going to address that. I do want to say that you know,
Is it getting hot in here or is it just me?
a large percentage of
Jimmy,
humans,
can we open the door?
I do believe it's upwards of the 90% of people don't have the ability to look into the future. Whether that be deep into the future, a year, a week. Some people live day by day. You know what I mean? The finances, everything comes into looking to the future. You're going to hurt that person in the future when you fall out of love with them more than you're going to hurt them if you tell them
Why would
today.
you say fall out of love, though?
Because clearly he's not liking this. So it's going to turn into a problem.
Doesn't mean he's out of love with him.
But I'm saying, do you see what's on they're on a road to breaking up. If he doesn't make any,
I just think if you, my opinion,
if there are no dramatic changes being made, that's going to end to a broken up relationship. So someone's going to be heartbroken. So why not nip it in the butt now and tell him exactly how you feel? Work on it now.
So you would expect him to give up this?
No. I would
body
expect this person who's writing you to be honest about how he feels,
and
and
break
then
up and leave.
No, and then they would work it out together. Why
Okay,
is that
but
so
how do you-
hard?
Okay, so the question is, how do you make it work?
How do you make it work? You communicate.
What's
You tell
what's
him
the solution?
The solution
He's not
is
going to give up drag.
Oh,
You don't want to
perfect.
see him in
Then you
drag. You
dedicate-
don't want the house taken over by drag.
Okay,
What's
then
the solution?
I'm sure then instead of the house taking over, you have one bedroom dedicated to all of your drag gear where it's organized neatly inside of plastic boxes. You know what I mean? Boom, communication, done. You know, hey, how about instead of doing drag 5 nights a week, you do this? How about when you...
But what if they're bringing in money?
Okay, perfect. Then how about when you walk into that front door, you better not be dressed in fucking drag.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Period. I mean, if that's how it is, if like, you know, if y'all don't like the color green and you're going to walk in wearing green every day, eventually I'm going to be like, all right, you know what? This green needs to stop. You know what I mean? How about you change in your car and not wear green when you come into the house?
What
Like,
if you love somebody so much, who cares what color they're wearing? Or
clearly he does, though, or else you wouldn't be talking about it.
well, that's why it's a hot topic.
I know.
I mean,
There's no right answer, but I
No,
think
there's actually not.
communication
You're
is
right.
key for any relationship period. Whether it's heartful or not, communication, and it will help in the long term. It will fuck up your short term. It will help
You
in the
just
long
see
term.
somebody thriving in their own. I do feel.
Yeah, and that's
though,
why you
seeing
say-
somebody that maybe might be masculine and then drag it up. It's not sexy.
Exactly. That's why I say, you know, I love that for
I probably
you,
sound like a dick
but
saying that,
you know what I
but
mean? Like,
yeah.
I love the studio for you, but you need to
but
update this bitch.
if you truly love someone,
And I'm telling you
you'll
that
love
for
them
your
no matter
future.
what. If you truly love someone, then you know you'll love them no matter what.
That's
Maybe
what I
it's not
think,
true
too.
love. You know, maybe it isn't. Unfortunately, because if that's something that you really care about, that's great. Like, I mean, to each their own. But maybe that's just not for him.
Let's say you met this rock star, hot guy,
Yeah.
tall, thin, whatever, and then he's like, oh, "I'm gonna start doing drag."
Okay, so
Yeah.
actually, that's crazy you say that.
Did
Because
it happen?
the last
Yes.
guy that I liked, I would tell people all the time, like, I think he's going to transition one day. Like, I would literally think that. And he was so hot, and he'd wear eyeliner and everything. I'd
That's
never,
rock star
and I'd
shit.
never liked like guys like that before. I always liked like the football type.
Oh, I thought you liked emo rock star.
Well, now I like it because of him.
Maybe if you dated somebody, you would wash your socks.
No, and I remember asking myself, it was an interesting question I asked myself. I was like, if he were to transition, would I still? And I was like, yes, I'm obsessed with him. I'd literally drink his bathwater. I will literally tattoo his name on my forehead because when I love someone, I'm obsessed with them.
She's not lying. It's crazy.
No, it's
It's
but-
actually a mental
yeah.
But that's
condition.
very open, and that's actual
Yeah.
love. It's unconditional
Yeah, I'm
love.
obsessed.
And I'm sorry, a lot of us don't have it.
Nope.
When I love so deeply, and it's just I don't know. That's just how I've always.
It's also all the estrogen pumping through those damn veins.
Well, I don't know. I think also just like I don't know. Even when it comes to like my mom and my dad, like it might be a cycle that I may need to break out of. But I've seen my mom continuously make excuses for my dad because she truly loved him so
That's
much.
not healthy either.
I know, and it's not healthy. So I'm on the other side of it. I'm on the like, you're a ride or die. I'm there with you through whatever, through thick or
so
thin.
sweet.
But it's also scary because sometimes, yeah, people can do really effed up shit to you and you'll still accept them and still love them. And that is where I need to learn to draw a line. So.
You guys, this has been such a fun conversation.
So communication, yes, is key.
What do you want most out of Keep It Coming podcast? Like, what do you want the future to look like? What is the mission of this show?
I'll let Cheyenne answer this one. 'Cause I'm just on the, I'm on a road.
Well, originally it started off like I said, just something that will prevent
It's fun if
me
people
from
wanted
getting
to
in
see.
trouble. Yeah, and something to put myself out there. And then once it started really getting seriously, it was like, you know, you have all these dreams and hopes and stuff, and now it's like, okay, I have a very clear vision of what I want. We'd love to do a tour, like a live tour,
100%.
and I want to go to Bumble.
Talking about these issues.
Yeah,
like
and I just want to go
proclamation.
to like a random city in a random place and just go on stage and just meet a bunch of amazing people that don't see, or maybe not so amazing
Can you
people,
imagine going back to Plano?
and just
Going to their GSA, whatever college is there.
yeah, whatever
and,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like, I mean, even it doesn't even have to be GSA.
Although you
can
guys on the
just, like,
road
go-
hearing the crazy stories,
Yeah.
that's another show.
So that's definitely
Doxy pep.
something. And then I think also just like I said, it just gives me a pep in my confidence in my step to then be like, okay, what else, you know? Because I already, so I actually auditioned for something. This inspired me to audition for something,
me, please.
and now I'm gonna be in a movie, so that's exciting. I can't talk about it at all because I had to write a bunch of NDAs. But
Can
now
you talk
I'm
about the
getting back.
audition process?
Yeah, so
Can you talk about how you felt walking into your first audition?
So I originally moved out here for acting. That was my goal.
Yep.
I wanted to move out here, and I was obsessed with Marilyn Monroe, and I wanted to literally be her. And then I came out here, and life
lines.
happened, and then, you know, fell into extortion. Yeah. Fell into escorting and all that. And yeah, I kind of like lost that sight. So now that we're performing almost every week, it kind of like reignited that. And also when I was going out to auditions before, it was different. It was a different world. I would go out for like prostitute number 4 and like this and that. And now it's like I auditioned for something. She's like the lead character. She's badass. And it was so great. And I knew when I got the script, I was like, I'm going to get this. I know I'm going to get this. Because I have just this newfound confidence now in myself. And I love it.
I think the podcast
Yeah, it
helps with that.
did. Yeah, it did. It brought back that feeling of why I loved acting so much, because it was like for an hour I can leave all my problems and I can just play and act like a kid, and nothing is supposed to be taken too seriously, you know, and just
I love
play in my imaginations, my delusions, and
Did you
people
do the
laugh.
reading with her, like while she was like prepping for the audition?
No, I had my friend Kathy. She helped me. Thank you, Kathy.
You weren't even involved in.
No. Well, I don't know
If you
much
need
about
somebody to read
actress
across,
things.
it's me.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll
perfect.
get tacos.
Oh my god, I love that. Yeah. So it's in the steps. So I don't know what the future holds, but I know that I'm excited. For once, I'm excited.
What do you guys think the future of queer community looks like?
Divided.
Oh shit.
And we have to, like, your podcast is not.
I don't know.
It's not a queer podcast. It's
I
everything.
I know a lot of very amazing queer directors and artists and actors and actresses that are putting themselves in a lot more straight heteronormative spaces and opening up so many people's eyes now. You know, the last guy that I liked and the crew he hangs around with, they're straight, but they're very queer and they're very like rebels, and I like that, and I feel like a lot of that is sort of like mixing together.
Do you think we're gonna have to go in the closet a bit, because it's cool to be queer now? So many celebrities have come out as bisexual, polyamorous, like, you know, all this.
I think people just want
I
to
mean, Hallmark is having 3 gay movies.
Well,
this
with
year.
everything divided nowadays, people want community. People want a space where they can feel safe and they can be able to create art. And
But
that's
I feel like
ultimately how
community
humans
also
are.
creates exclusivity. So that's where I think that when I said divided is like, okay, so now more than ever do we have like the Soho houses, the Gravitas, the private clubs, the people that
I feel like
exclude.
Soho House has become not
No.
cool to go
It's,
into anymore.
well, it's not anymore. Well, it's there's
Remember how expensive it was?
Yeah. It's
yeah.
wild.
No, so now there's a few more, but I mean, so now it's like the equality is a double-edged sword, because when everything becomes equal, you lose that, like the gay ghetto and like the spaces where it's like, I've noticed it working at Mickey's, where it's like before equality was a thing, you wouldn't see the bachelorette parties there. You know what I mean? You wouldn't see the woo-woo girls. You wouldn't see like, you know, and I feel like
West Hollywood has become inundated with it.
yeah, and it's actually horrible. You know, I think that over the next couple
Didn't
of
we
years,
want
the idea of a gay
Equality
club,
and inclusivity.
that's what I'm saying. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So like, if you want, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? So, you know, I personally like exclusivity. Fuck it. You know, I like the idea of the gay ghetto. I liked being able to go to West Hollywood and watch porn on the screens. And like, that's why I started working at Mickey's, because it was one of the dirtiest bars other than Foo Bar.
Used to be. When the brick walls were up.
And I loved it. And like, now you could never, because, you know, the ABC would never even come into the gay community. They stayed away from that. Like, oh, you know, we don't want to go anywhere. But then when the girls started coming in, posting pictures and this, and like, you know, it just sucks.
I just feel like we're like circus freaks when they come in, you know, and we're like,
It's tough.
That's a whole hot topic.
It really, really, really is. So.
Yeah.
You know, they're also bringing money into the community, and we know
Yes and no.
nightlife is really suffering. Remember when happy hour used to be packed from Mickey's to Abbey, whatever?
Oh my God.
Nobody can afford to go to happy hour. The older people who live on Social Security would be able to pay $4, $5 a drink. Nope, not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Palm Springs.
Oh my God, West Hollywood was fun as hell when I first moved out here.
Dumb.
So fun. I love it. I love the gays. I love gay shit.
We have talked about so much. We're going to finish the show. I'm going to ask each one of you, what is your biggest personal life challenge right now? Right now. It has nothing to do with the podcast. You're like, this is my biggest challenge right now.
Ooh, oh shit. Fuck, do you want to answer this first?
I mean, mine would, obviously we
okay.
touched on it, was be the baby. But other than that, I told myself I would be fully retired by 35. And I'm there now. And I don't want to retire. So now it's finding something to keep me busy. So, you know, the podcast is probably that. But I'm spreading myself really thin now, because like I'm at the new bar, I'm trying to have the baby, I have the podcast going, I own a ton of properties over here that I'm also managing /
It's kind of not a personal challenge, though. It's a busy schedule. I'm talking about you. Since you guys get so deep and personal on Keep It Coming podcast, which you need to watch.
personal challenge,
know,
maybe
Spring-
finding actually allowing myself to have a relationship.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd say that.
Don't be a mouth breather. Don't be fat. Don't buy him dinner. Right?
Sure. Go on.
Oh my God.
Be able, do some fluidity stuff.
Okay, I know my answer. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay.
my biggest thing, especially going into the social media realm, is there is a lot of talk of like, you need X amount of followers, and you need this, and you need that, and you need this, and you need that. And for a minute there, I believed that like I needed X, Y, Z in order to find fulfillment and in order to find worth. But the true life and how it works, and I'm a firm believer of God, is God gave you all the tools you need, gave you everything inside of you, and this thing is not going to make you happy. It's not going to bring you any happiness. Like, just find the fulfillment in yourself and what you love, and then the rest will carry through. So yeah, especially with the amazing team that we have here. So yeah.
We had a full episode. Jamie, I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, we're sorry,
Jamie was like,
Jamie.
tell everybody where they can find and follow you. Your
Yeah.
OnlyFans, everything.
Okay, it's at Shayan Siren, Shayan Siren, on everything, basically. Yeah. And my OF is that. Yeah.
Anthony Saldana. Same thing. We made it really easy for everybody.
No, your Instagram is not Anthony Saldana.
It is. Oh,
Yeah.
It's
Tony Loke.
Oh, Tony
Tony
Loke,
Loke
yeah. But if you
04?
type in my name, it pops up also.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Or just go on Shayan's and go on her link tree.
Yeah. And there's some hot followers.
Do you guys
so-
ever film content together?
All the
What do
time.
you mean?
Oh,
like
Like sexual stuff?
Sexual?
No. I mean, like, I'll choke her, or like we just did like a
Yeah.
foot scene a little while ago where I like
or
put
I like
oil on her
jiggled my
feet.
booty on him.
Yeah, but nothing actual. Like
Nope.
she doesn't do nudes for free. So
No. We swapped cock before, but we never hooked up.
yeah, like I fucked someone while they were fucking.
Okay,
her.
and there we
so
go. It's always a
hot.
grab bag of fun here every day on the Rocks. Big thank you to Jamie running her show today. We're gonna miss her when she goes back to school, but she'll be back for On the Rocks. You're my girl now, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Please like, share, subscribe, so we can continue bringing this fabulous programming coming your way for free.
And so
Until
you can
next
afford
time.
some more comfortable chairs because these hurt.
And send dick.
I'm sorry, if you didn't have a bony ass, it wouldn't be a problem. We haven't had a problem, have we?
I don't know. The thick girls.
Fat shame me more, bitch. This chair is so
My
comfortable.
God.
Stay happy, stay healthy, stay sexy, and if
horny.
you drink, please
Stay horny.
tipsy.
And happy fucking Thanksgiving,
Oh.
you guys.
Yeah.
Get stuffed.
Oh, yes.
Ayo.
Bye.
This This has been another episode of On the Rocks. Tweet me and slide into my DMs on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks On Air. Find everything On the Rocks for free at ontherocksradioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay fabulous.